What happens when one of the biggest movie stars in the world loses engine power over Mojave Desert in private plane with no emergency beacon? When Harrison Ford is conscious and injured somewhere in 200 square miles of sand with sun going down and temperatures dropping, who finds him before exposure becomes fatal? And when David Hasselhoff and KITT detect thermal signature that shouldn't exist in middle of nowhere, how does AI car's infrared sensors become difference between survival and becoming tragic aviation statistic? This is the story of afternoon Harrison Ford's Cessna fell from sky, and why search and rescue teams never had to look, because KITT found him first. Late afternoon, October 1987, Mojave Desert. Harrison Ford, 45, absolute peak career, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Blade Runner, flying Cessna 182 from Santa Monica to Las Vegas for charity event. Ford, experienced pilot, 5 years licensed, loved flying because nobody recognized him and he could be alone with sky. Flight should take 90 minutes. Clear weather, perfect conditions. David Hasselhoff was driving KITT through same desert on Interstate 15, heading to Los Angeles after Vegas promotional appearance. Peaceful drive until KITT's scanner pulsed irregularly. David, I'm detecting unusual thermal signatures 12 miles northeast. Elevated heat consistent with recently crashed aircraft. Small plane, engine fire extinguished but metal still hot. Also detecting human heat signature 50 yards from wreckage. Single individual, prone position, minimal movement. David's stomach tightened. Are you sure it's crash? Quite certain. Heat pattern indicates impact within last 30 minutes. No emergency beacon. If there's survivor, they're not able to call for help. David pulled over. 12 miles northeast was open desert. No roads, no structures. KITT's exact coordinates, locked. However, no access road, completely off-road through desert. Then that's what we do. Survivor's condition, elevated heart rate suggesting stress or pain. Respiration rapid. Body temperature normal but declining. Desert temperatures drop after sunset, currently 70 minutes away. If individual injured and can't move, hypothermia risk within 3 hours. David didn't hesitate. KITT fastest route. Get me there now. KITT left highway, tires transitioning to sand and rock. Advanced suspension absorbed punishment, navigating boulders, dried creek beds, ridges. Desert beautiful in harsh way, endless sand, scrub brush, distant mountains, also deadly. No water, no shade. KITT crested ridge. Cessna 182, white with blue stripes, nose buried in sand dune, left wing bent, propeller twisted. Tried to land, came in too fast, hit hard. Engine compartment showed scorch marks from brief fire. 50 yards away, figure lying near rocks. David was out of KITT before the car stopped, running toward the figure. As he got closer, his brain registered details that didn't make sense until they did. Leather jacket, jeans, boots, and a face he'd seen on movie screens 100 times. Harrison Ford, lying on his side, left arm cradled against his chest, face pale, breathing shallow, conscious but clearly in pain. David dropped to his knees beside him. Mr. Ford, I'm David Hasselhoff. I'm here to help. Can you hear me? Ford's eyes opened, focused on David with difficulty. That famous voice, but rougher, strained. Hasselhoff, Night Rider. This is either real or the weirdest hallucination from head trauma. It's real. What happened? Engine quit. 20 minutes ago. Tried to land. Didn't go well. Left arm's broken. Maybe ribs. Radio's in the plane, but the electrical system's dead. I was trying to walk to higher ground to get a signal on my emergency locator, but I can't make it with this arm. David looked back at the plane. The cockpit was accessible, but the electrical fire had clearly destroyed the radio. KITT's already contacted emergency services. They're sending helicopters. How's your breathing? Hurts. Probably cracked ribs. But I can breathe. How did you find me? I've only been down 20 minutes. David gestured toward KITT, whose scanner was sweeping the area. My car has thermal imaging. Detected your plane's heat signature from 12 miles away. Detected you 50 yards from the wreckage. Ford stared at KITT, then at David. That's the actual Knight Rider car. The one from the show, yes. And it really has thermal imaging. Infrared sensors. The whole thing. The whole thing. Ford let out a breath that might have been a laugh if it didn't hurt. I've crashed my plane in the middle of the Mojave Desert, and I'm being rescued by a TV show car. My life is strange. Your life is about to get less strange. KITT. Medical assessment. KITT's scanner swept over Ford. Fracture of the left radius and ulna. Probable fracture of ribs 3 and 4 on the left side. No internal bleeding detected. Mild concussion. Dehydration. Patient is stable, but requires medical attention. David pulled emergency supplies from KITT. Splint, water, thermal blanket. He immobilized Ford's arm as gently as possible, gave him water in small sips, wrapped the thermal blanket around him. Ford's face showed the pain, but he didn't complain, just watched David work with the same quiet intensity he brought to every movie role. You've done this before, Ford said. I've had some practice. KITT and I run into emergencies more often than you'd think. How long until the helicopters get here? KITT contacted San Bernardino County Rescue. They're dispatching from their base near Barstow. ETA 45 minutes. Ford looked at the sun, which was getting lower on the horizon. It'll be dark by then. That's okay. KITT can guide them in with infrared markers. They'll find us. They sat in desert, David monitoring Ford, KITT maintaining rescue communication. After few minutes silence, Ford spoke. Can I ask you something? Sure. Is this what you do? Drive around finding people who need help? David smiled. Sometimes, Knight Rider's TV show. But KITT's technology is real. Foundation wanted to create something that could help people. Most time we're filming. But when KITT detects someone in trouble, we help if we can. You could have stayed on highway. Called 911. Let someone else handle it. I could have. But KITT detected you within minutes. Helicopters are 45 minutes away. In desert, in October. With sun going down, that 45 minutes matters. You're dehydrated, injured, going into shock. Another hour alone and condition deteriorates significantly. Ford nodded. So you drove 12 miles through desert because 45 minutes might be difference. Yes. That's first responder thinking. Not normal civilian behavior. It's doing what needs to be done when you have tools to do it. KITT gives us capabilities most people don't have. Seems wrong not to use them. In distance, helicopter rotors. KITT's scanner pulsed. David, rescue helicopters approaching. ETA 3 minutes. Activating infrared markers. 2 bright infrared strobes appeared on KITT's roof, invisible to naked eye, but blazing beacons to helicopters' night vision. Helicopters appeared. 2 of them, San Bernardino County Sheriff's Search and Rescue, circled once, spotted KITT's markers, and crashed plane, landed 70 yards away. Paramedics ran over with stretcher. Assessed Ford quickly, loaded him. One paramedic looked at David. You called this in. My car's system detected crash. We drove out to help. Your car's system detected a plane crash. Paramedic looked at KITT skeptically. David nodded toward Trans Am. Advanced sensors, Thermal imaging detected heat signature. Paramedic didn't ask follow-up, just shook head. Well, whatever it's got, you saved this guy's life. Another hour out here with those injuries and dropping temperatures, serious complications. Good work. They loaded Ford into helicopter. Before liftoff, Ford called to David Hasselhoff. Thank you for not just calling it in, for actually coming out here. David nodded. You'd have done the same. Maybe. But you did it first. Helicopter lifted off toward Barstow Hospital. Second helicopter stayed to document crash site. David gave statement to deputy. Drove back to Interstate 15. KITT quiet for miles. Then David, Mr. Ford was correct. You could have simply reported crash and continued. Rescue helicopters would have found him eventually. Eventually isn't always fast enough. KITT, you detected him 20 minutes after crash. If we'd just called it in, added response time, search time, treatment delay, every minute matters in trauma. I'm aware. I'm noting most civilians would not drive 12 miles through desert to reach someone they've never met. Most civilians don't have you. Most civilians don't have thermal imaging detecting crash from 12 miles away. Most civilians don't have car navigating desert at 40 ampere. We have those things, so we have responsibility to use them. Knight Foundation would approve of that philosophy. Knight Foundation built you specifically for that philosophy. To help people who need help, to be there when nobody else can be. That's the point. 3 weeks later, David received package. Framed photo, Harrison Ford standing next to repaired Cessna at Santa Monica Airport, smiling, left arm in cast, signed, to David and KITT. You proved heroes aren't just in movies. Sometimes they're driving through desert detecting thermal signatures of pilots who make bad decisions. Thank you for being there when it mattered. Engine failure was mechanical, pure bad luck. But rescue was skill, technology, and decision to act instead of delegate. I'm flying again because you made that decision. If you're ever in Wyoming, dinner's on me at my ranch. Harrison Ford. David hung photo next to ones from Bruce Willis, Clint Eastwood, Muhammad Ali. Because some days you're driving through Mojave, on way home. Some days AI car detects thermal signature that shouldn't exist. Some days you become first person on scene when one of biggest movie stars needs help and can't get it from anyone else. The difference isn't luck. It's having technology most people don't have and using it for right reasons. It's understanding that when KITT says there's someone 50 yards from crashed plane, only correct response is, get me there now. That's what heroes do, whether on movie screens or driving cars that can see heat signatures from 12 miles away. Harrison Ford was alive because David Hasselhoff didn't just call 911. He drove straight to crash site because 45 minutes might have been too long. That's the lesson. That's why KITT's thermal imaging wasn't just impressive technology. It was reason a pilot got to fly again, instead of becoming statistic in Mojave Desert.